You're not joining us.
Watch tomorrow.
Are you serious? So you put me, only me will not stay here.
No, now. See them now.
Well, who is the guy that plays?
Steven, but he said he won't be playing.
Ah, so only bless.
Imagine, no. Why did you say you go even join me, sir? But they give me morale. Okay, well, I'm not going to be going.
You go join me tomorrow.
I'm not going to join you. What is it to me? I'll do to
Join
you.
me now.
Anyway, I'll think about it. Pastor G. G for greatness. I said. Huh? Yes.
where's Wilfred?
I think it's
But it's coming downstairs soon.
Did you carry watch?
No.
So you know how was the right time? Okay, Kishi too did finish. There are about 3 food there. If after prayer, we first finish this food. If after prayer, then I have to cut it.
Because by
Because
tomorrow
by tomorrow
is for don't spoil.
They did not carry it before tomorrow. I'll eat it.
Thank you very much. You may please take your seat. As I invite the chairman of the White Progressive Party to come to the podium and introduce his party members and the presidential candidate.
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
Thank you very much. My name remains Honorable Ayomide Olu-Oroku, the proud chairperson
Oh yes.
of this great party, the White Progressive Party.
Oh yes.
You know, and I'm not here alone. I would like to make mention of my ever vibrant, always available, just one call away, my chairperson, my vice chairperson, in the person of Ude Blessing.
Redefining narratives!
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
Thank you so much. Moving on, I would like to make known of my president, of course. I call her my president because she's in already.
Oh yes, oh yes.
With a standing ovation. Yes, you have to be on your feet for this. Start jamming your hands together. For the incoming president of this nation, in the person of Miss Eunice Wahaya Sambo.
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
Thank you so much. And I would like to also make reference of the vice president, the incoming vice president, and the person of, he used to be a comrade, but let me remove that. He is going to be a president soon. So please, jam your hands together for the vice president, Gospel John. WPP!
Redefining narratives!
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
Thank you so much. And of course, our campaign manager that has been putting things together. You know, I'm sure you all saw our campaign. You all saw how wonderful it was. So please jam your hands together for Comrade Honorable Dr. Pastor David T.
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
Thank you so much. And I would like to make reference of our PRO and our secretary. The last campaign we did, it was a little bit under the weather, but now you can see his face. Your shoe show. Your shoe shine. So please jam your hands together for our PRO and our secretary in the person of Mr. Gil Sonny Samuel.
Redefining narratives! Redefining narratives!
And of course, the last person on my list, our second PRO, my baby. Please jam your hands together for Rose King.
WPP!
Redefining narratives!
White Progressive Party!
Redefining narratives!
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And don't forget, we are here to do with fine analytics. Thank you.
Okay. We would like to call on the chairperson of the Green Democratic Party to come to the podium and introduce his party members and the presidential candidate.
Now they will clap for me. Doesn't that sound so good?
Yeah, so.
Confirmento confirm.
Yeah, so.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Nigerians. God bless you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Of course, you are tuned in to Witness Revolution in the Making.
Yes.
My name is Honorable Valentine Ekojoka. Okay. One and only one from Asia Southeast, Edo Land, reformative. And I remain the national chairman, Green Democratic Party, standing for productivity and service, here to rescue Nigeria back from the shackles to the top of where it's supposed to be.
Yes. So.
GDP!
Productivity and service!
Of Of course, I have my amiable, delectable, indefatigable party members here today. If you take a look to my right hand side, you could just see color like rainbow. With a shine, with a represent,
Yes,
with a Torian.
Yes.
Starting from my vice chairman, that's in dope now. I mean, just take a look now. I never want vote or self because when you look the way we dope, now that don't dope already. Correct. So my vice chairman, the president of Honorable Solomon Wilfred. You know, if you hear something too much, GDP to the people, GDP to the world. Nothing to shake us. We continue. If you check where you go see my honorable chairman, this guy, this man, don't revolutionize Nigeria, don't walk around. If you see the way our campaign tick reach, it is because of this supreme individual covering the length and breadth of Nigeria. I beg you, no, could I help me celebrate my one and only Oga at the top, our campaign manager, the person of Anthony Greatness Nwaji. When you see a true son of the soil, you will know.
Yes.
Always representing. And that is what Nigeria needs at this time. Yes, I continue. If you look right, you go see the woman who represent our party.
Yes.
Everywhere green. One singer for Nigeria said, "That land is green, is green." And that is what we have come to do, to make Nigeria green. Because our national flag now green, white, green. Now why we be Green Democratic Party? Ladies and gentlemen, help me celebrate this beautiful, amicable, indefatigable, incredible, in fact, all the boo where you know. Look her from top to bottom. Madam Dame Mercy Ifunanya Ajike, our women leader.
GDP, productivity and service. GDP, productivity and service. Good women, power to the women.
Now so, will they carry everybody along?
Yes.
The young, the old, the male, the female. We represent everybody. With GDP, everybody they covered. We continue. Our Secretary General will make everything they happen for this party. We know they miss one detail. When we don't write them, it they happen. As they go, we they move with protocol. We they observe everything. The one and only ever done ski. Confirmento confirm. Kishi. Urola. Fadeko. Now so we cover Nigeria from top to bottom. If you go north, you go find us. If you come south, you go see us.
Yes.
West Tunko, we dey here. More come finish from east. Now that one take me to the next person for here. Chineke Mo. I don't enter the language. It's just that they vibrate. I can't wait. We will enter the hem of affairs.
Yes.
When I go see say as green they everywhere. Now so green they cover everywhere.
Yes.
East, north, west, south, we full ground brekete. Ladies and gentlemen, my honorable vice president.
Yes.
Now woman no be man o. You remember what I talked before, say we cover everywhere. We know the joke. We don't come here come play. All the way from the eastern part of Nigeria.
Thank you.
The ever radiant yellow pawpaw Wanyocha. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable Blessing Amarachi Okomadu.
Green Democratic Party. GDP. My people.
Yes, so and to the grand finale.
We need to stand up.
Hey, the ultimate number one. When we say we want restructure, we know the joke.
Yeah, so
Oh, I don't know how this thing they do me now. See, Nigeria is saved already.
Yes.
And they tell you the truth. Nigeria don't save already. And when I talk before, I still they maintain am again. Say as we cover everywhere, we cover everywhere. Our Dansky Presido, one and only, all the way from everywhere for Nigeria, because you go see your name, covering the length and breadth, the incredible, the amazing, the indefatigable, the fantastic, the wonderful, the I don't finish.
Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, Mona help me jam on her hand. But we bring our president, Nnamdi Owolabi Stevie, Honorable Ede, one and only. Chelsea Joe, Chelsea fan. The rest of GDP, productivity and savings. GDP, productivity and savings. Nigeria, I greet you. Great Nigeria people. God bless Nigeria and God bless us all.
Amen. Thank you. So I would like to invite both presidential parties candidates to the podium. The presidential candidate for the Green Democratic Party, the person of Nnamdi Steve Ede. Can you please take the stage? The presidential candidate for the White Progressive Party, Mrs. Eunice Sambo, can you please step on the podium?
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together again. Before we take the questions, each presidential candidate is given 60 seconds to say something nice about his or her opponent tonight. Let's set a new precedent in political activities in this country. So pick out something nice, a good quality about your opponent. If it does exist, fine. If it doesn't exist, create one. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Well, in this regard, I wouldn't even hesitate because my fellow candidate who is vying for this position is a beloved friend. Please, can you hear me celebrate her? Well, she has some certain scintillating features that makes her highly admirable. Honestly, highly admirable. And I must confess that she's a wonderful personality with certain beautiful idiosyncrasies, which I also believe. But on this particular adventure, of this political adventure, I hope it turns out well for us as a party. But at the same time, I acknowledge that we have a wonderful figure, beautiful, delectable, amiable, and a very, very wonderful woman as the candidate.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I would like to say that the candidate for the GDP is a very good friend of mine. Only that we are on the opposing party this time around. But notwithstanding, he is somebody who I say is a very versatile person, very intellectual, and those are some of the qualities I look out for in the presidential candidate of GDP. And I look out for a good outing with you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, few seconds from now, the battle begins. It is a battle of intellectual prowess. It will be a battle of perspectives. It will be a battle of hybrid opinion. These conversations can shape the cultural landscape of 200 million people. Choose your words carefully. Your remaining in this house can depend on it. A half-empty house abounds. Let the battle begin.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Listen to the question attentively. First, what personal virtue do you have that can further inspire Nigerian youths towards unity, peace, and fervency in actualizing the Nigerian dream? I repeat myself. What personal virtue do you have that can further inspire young Nigerians towards unity, peace, and fervency in actualizing the Nigerian dream?
Let the lady begin. 3 minutes. Let the lady candidate begin.
All right, thank you very much for this question and this opportunity. The question said, what personal virtue do I have? One of the personal virtues I have is kindness. And I believe that kindness is needed in every sphere and spectrum of life. Why do I say that? By the time we Nigerian youth decide to see each other with kindness and decide to take each other as brothers, not enemies, we're not fighting. There is unity in diversity. Because we have different tribes, languages, and what have you, doesn't make the next person less of a person than you are.
Exactly.
I come back to the statement. There is unity in diversity. When you decide to look at your fellow Nigerian as a human first, not regardless of the religion, regardless of the tribe, regardless of sentiment or what have you, it will foster unity and peace among you.
Oh, yes.
We are first humans before we are called Nigerian.
Exactly.
We are first humans before we are called Christians or Muslims. We are first humans before we are called Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, or any other tribe in this country. So if you have that at the back of your mind, you treat another Nigerian like a human, not based on their tribe, not based on their religion, not based on sentiment, not based on region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First, I must say that Nigeria started off as a diverse nation, diverse entity with different diverse culture and religion. We must also understand that diversity is a blessing. Though we wrote on a marriage of inconvenience as based on the amalgamation of 1914, but it is because our diversity has been mismanaged, then it has become a divergence today.
Yes, sir.
Now, as a person, I believe I am a detribalized person. I have in my name a Yoruba and an Igbo name.
Yes.
I originate from the eastern part of Nigeria. Yes, I have a Yoruba name. And in fact, the Yoruba house, I have 2 Yoruba names. And also, on the heel of my attempt to get married to a woman, I have also indulged the place of my friend to stand as my groomsman. And my said friend is from the northern part of Nigeria, a Muslim. His name is Sharif Muhammad. I believe he's watching now. By the grace of God, whichever time he comes, he will be standing as my groomsman. I believe that as long as Nigeria is concerned, the sanctity of human life supersedes religious or ethnic sentiment.
Yes.
Major Kaduna Ezeogu said that the problem of Nigeria is political saboteurs and swindlers who use our religious and ethnic possession and connection to cause disunity.
Yes.
But we must remember that we are one people, one nation. We are Nigerians. And the bond between us is that we have a nation to dynamite into greatness.
Yes, sir.
So by reason of this virtue, and by reason of the fact that I have a claim to the fact that Nigeria can stand as a nation and dynamite its way into greatness, we will certainly achieve the dream if we work together.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for them. Thank you.
Secondly, as brain drain is on the rise, cheap labor is now hot cake on global demand. In what ways, if elected, can your government boost human capacity such that will help level the gap in market polarization? I come again. As brain drain is on the rise, cheap labor is now hot cake on global demand. In what ways, if elected, can your government boost human capacity such that will help level the gap in market polarization?
Thank you. The gentleman can begin answering that question.
Now, to establish the point on what brain drain implies, brain drain simply implies the process of migration of human skilled labor from their place or nation or place of national belonging to somewhere else to find greener pasture.
Yes.
Now, in the context of Nigeria, we have realized that a number of young, skilled, and highly proficient Nigerians have kept on finding a way to leave the country in order to find ends meet, in order to find a way to establish and find their lives. Now, in that regard, what we intend doing is to first deal with the place of employment, unemployment, and underemployment. There is a scarcity of employment in Nigeria, which has often compelled young people to find a means to go abroad in order to find a means of living.
Yes, sir.
I mean, painfully, excruciatingly so to say, that we have many of our medical officials, medical practitioners, going outside the country in order to find places to work. Funny enough, when our leaders here in the country move outside the country for medical treatment and checkup, they still find themselves on the bed of these same Nigerians.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what we intend doing is to have a way of creating enabling environment for skilled and potentials to thrive.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We create an enabling environment for them to establish themselves. Yes. I remember my time as a telecommunication official in a telecommunication company. In my administrative duty, I realized that our company could not even meet a profit margin in a year. Not a profit to gain. This implies that most companies in Nigeria are struggling to survive, having deep breath. So our target is to ensure to create a business environment with good and not stiff regulatory stipulation, not imposing strict conditions. But at the same time, we also find a way to regulate their actions.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, we give them access to credit and loans and also check back mechanisms to see that their businesses can thrive.
Yes.
This enabling business environment is causing a disincentive to foreign investment.
Yes,
we are talking about foreign investment. The vice presidential candidate, it was quite laughable because he talked about foreign investment, and I question, we have an environment that serves as disincentive to a foreign investment.
Yes, yes, sir.
So how do we deal with it? We create an enabling environment, create nice regulations, increasing remuneration and social packages.
Yes, sir.
For people who are working. You can't give a man what he can. You want to give a man just little to deliver more. You're giving him little to deliver much, it can't work. We have to increase their remuneration and social packages. We have doctors, professionals who are earning as low as 30,000 in this nation.
Yes, sir.
That is totally disheartening. We will integrate brains to relative sectors in the economy.
Yes, sir.
They are highly brilliant Nigerians.
Yes, 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 sir.
Brilliant Nigerians. Yes. Intellectuals who we can mobilize their skillful energy in helping this nation to thrive. Yes. China as a nation, what does it do? It sends its citizens outside the country.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. Lady, your time starts now. Remember, 3 minutes.
All right, thank you very much. I believe that brain drain crisis is circumstances or issues that affect the mental health of an individual. Issues beyond human control, which are natural disaster and what have you. In Nigeria, let's go back as far as 2020. We had a lot of issues with businesses as a result of COVID-19, which caused a lot of mental issues to Nigerians, business owners, people who are in the work sphere and what have you. People run away from these things because they are ashamed of coming out to seek for attention. We have to let Nigerians know the fact that, one, that you are in a state of brain drain or you have a mental challenge does not mean you should be stigmatized. it is not a point of stigmatization at all. Your business is packed and crumbled. What you need to do is to seek for help outside.
That's right.
Another thing we intend to do is proper awareness against mental health stigmatization, funding facilities that help in treating mental health patients. If possible, building facilities, hospitals that deal mostly on mental health care. Another thing as a party that we intend to do is bringing up a policy with the help of the legislative and judiciary to enforce its employment of therapists on every company and workplace. The last thing as a party that we intend to do as regards brain drain is proper training of health personnel that is strictly focused on mental health. My counterpart, the presidential aspirant of GDP, stated that the vice president said something about foreign investments. But if we recall back to what he said we are going to make this environment serene. If our mental health is intact, we would function well in the business organization. Yes. If our mental health is intact, even in the workspace, we would function well. So as a party, we are out to make sure that people's mental health is intact, even in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Next question. The continuous conflict between herders and farmers in the last few years have dealt a mighty blow on our food production, distribution, and supply chain across the country. In what ways will your government tackle this menace without affecting our peaceful coexistence? I repeat myself. The continuous conflict between herders and farmers in the last few years have dealt a mighty blow on our food production, distribution, and supply chain across the country. In what ways will your government tackle this menace without affecting our peaceful coexistence?
Can the lady begin answering the question? 3 minutes.
All right. Thank you very much. The former president of the United States, Jimmy Carter, stated in 1977 that a nation cannot exist when a peaceful nation cannot exist when 1/3 of the nation is hungry and 2/3 do not have what to eat.
Thank you.
This brings me to the fact that we intend to maximize the human capital development.
Oh, yes.
There are so many talents in this country. There are so many underused talents in this country. It is ironic that a country like Nigeria, with so much human natural resources, languages, and poverty, because we have a high rate of people who do not have anything to do, they will rather subscribe to the threats of people in the power to help them foster insecurity. That's right. As a party, we intend to create a structure for awareness sake to educate Nigerians on the need to delve into farming. We're going to be using agriculture as one of the stem for unification of Nigerians. Oh, yes. The structure will be called Mega Farm City. It will be a community where majorly farmers is inculcated. This is where every farming activity will happen. Mega Farm City will also have farmhouses to store food. It will be owned and run by the government. This is to reduce the fact that people would say, okay, I don't have materials to farm, I don't have this to farm. It will reduce that drastically. That's right. This will also generate more revenue, creating more jobs for Nigerian youth. Oh, yes. This will mean combing lack of unemployment on the street and reducing insecurity to a large extent. Thank you very much.
You may proceed, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Now, before I go, let me set a background and precedence. I don't think my fellow presidential candidate got the question right. Now, you said farmers and others crisis. That is fundamental. Number two, how can we solve the problem so there will be peaceful coexistence? We are all aware in this nation that we have seen continuous encroachment of herdsmen into farmland in several parts of the nation. We have seen the brazen level of open grazing in a modern world in Nigeria. That is totally poor. Most nations are already adopting ranching as a form of livestock farming.
Yes, sir.
That is one way to tackle the case of dispute on land.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Farmer, others are trying to protect their cow and give them life, give them food by encroaching into innocent farmers' land.
Yes.
And in the process, they are killing farmers. Now, what is the implication? The implication is that farmers will not be able to go to farm.
Yes.
Now, as a result of that, it will lead to food scarcity.
Yes.
When there is no food security, the meaning is that there is food scarcity because farmers can't go to farm. A very good example is Benue State. We have seen that in Taraba, where farmers are crying out loud, shouting to the heavens that they can't go to their farm because of insecurity as a result of the continuous encroachment and nomadic movements of herdsmen and their livestock. What are we going to do? We are going to adopt ranching to settle the herdsmen in order to take care of their livestock. Secondly, we will ensure that we adopt the best legal machinery and framework to settle land disputes among tribes so that no tribe will ventilate grievance by shooting or attacking anyone. And also, what we are going to do is to stir up agricultural reforms. We need to preserve our products. As farmers are producing and harvesting their crops, there are no ways to preserve them. We will create collection centers across the state because what we project as a nation are the things we see in the states. We will ensure that in each state we have collection and preservation centers of our agricultural produce. Now we are also going to integrate agricultural technology, creating an integration system into the agricultural sector for our agricultural graduates. Once you graduate from the agricultural school, you are sent out to the field and put on good job placement and you get better remuneration. Finally, we have a farmer database in order to have a full capturing of all our agricultural personnel. So all the farmers, whenever we want to give them loan or grant, we will have their database and send it to them so that nobody will take it and siphon it into their purse. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for them. The next question.
Thank you very much. Listen to the question attentively. What are the first three things you are going to do to raise Nigeria's confidence in the global community? I repeat myself. What are the first three things you are going to do to raise Nigeria's confidence in the global community?
The gentleman can begin answering.
All right, thank you very much. In this angle, with regards to building confidence, every nation must understand that in Africa, Ugugu wa Thiong'o made several of his forums, he made it clear that what Africa needs is to ensure that it has a self-concept, self-image, and self-confidence.
Yes, sir.
Africa continues to crawl along the line of Western nations, losing its self-image and self-determination, and keeps on going cap in hand in order to survive. Now, but let you understand this, that the best way a nation can build its confidence is when each citizen, number one, can find a way to fulfill their destiny in that nation. Number one. Number two, the destiny of any nation, any future of a nation is the youth, the young people. The young people in Nigeria form the majority bloc of the nation. What do we need to do? Empower the young people by the process of human resource management. As a human resource manager, the process of human resource management includes, number one, you will recruit them, you will equip them with certain skills, and give them the necessary corporate objective to follow. By reason of that, they inculcate the national values on which they operate. From there, they understand the feel and pulse of the nation. Number three, we will cause a rehabilitation, regeneration, and integration of skilled cyber criminals into our ICT sector. Now, please listen and get this clearly. In Russia, what Russia did clearly was this. They went ahead to pick cyber criminals. It used to be a den of cyber criminals. But what they did was to bring them and train them. Taking out, it implies an entrepreneurial study. It implies that you are creating out of a decrepit matter an edifice.
Yes.
Like you have, for example, a house. Very dirty metals, you make out of it beautiful something. Now, just like a clay, you mold something beautiful out of a clay. That's how nations grow. They help their young people to understand the field and train them and bring out the energy in them so that they can have a place. Thirdly, another thing is to ensure that we have an educational reform that will permit for skill development and mind reformation. How do I mean? We have 6334 educational pattern. We are going to change it to 53313.
Yes, sir.
What do I mean? 5 years in primary school, 3 years in junior secondary, 3 years in senior secondary, 1 year compulsory skill development and mind information institute, which you must attend. There you are going to get whether digital skill, skill, vocational skill, or whatever modern skill. From there, if you choose to go to university further, you spend just 3 years instead of the 4 years. You are not an ancestor. You don't need best nation spend 3 years in school.
Yes,
and as they are studying, they will take professional certification programs in the same process. You pick them up, you make them attractive. Thank you very much.
The lady, you can proceed.
Thank you very much. Youths are the leaders of tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
So, one of the major things we're going to be doing as a party is we're going to empower the youth.
Of course.
This means that we're going to bring back power to the youth.
Yes.
We have a lot of talent in this country.
Of course.
A lot of talent yet to be harnessed.
Yes.
A lot of talent that can bring out economic value to this country.
Yes.
But because it has been left without taking leverage or advantage of, many people do not have the confidence to use what they have, a God-given talent, to advance this country.
Yes.
So what we're going to do first is to empower the youth. We're going to bring back power to the hands of the youth.
Thank you.
The youth deserve to know that they can be comfortable from their homes. They can take up power from their homes. And how do we intend to do this? We have what we call human capital development. WPP is going to build a very competitive and conducive talent capital development structure where youths will be fully engaged in the use of their talent to promote economic stability with little or no dependence on government or white-collar jobs. We intend to go back to our educational structure. We intend to break and expand our curriculum.
Thank you.
In that, talent skill is not an option. It is compulsory. We want to educate you from the young. Someone said that when you educate a child, when you educate a child in the way you should grow, he will never depart from it. What we intend to do as a party is to educate this young one from when they are in school to when they go out. Secondly, we intend to redefine leadership. Leadership is not a word. My chairperson once stated that. Leadership is what you do. We are not going to lead people who... We have people who are intellectuals in this country, and we are not going to list them as though they are fools. The last thing we are going to do, as our party slogan says, is transforming minds by changing negative value systems. The Nigerian mentality makes us understand that the youth cannot have power in their hands. It is not true. We are bringing back that power to the youth. We are intellectuals. We are intelligent. We have talent-driven people in this country.
Thank you.
And we are going to give that back to them.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Redefining narratives.
Thank you very much. The next question, please.
Listen attentively. Considering the complexity of insurgency and banditry compounded by the sensitivity of its religious, political, and ethnic undertone, what is your negotiating style, approach, philosophy in dealing with this hybrid nature of insecurity? I repeat myself. Considering the complexity of insurgency and banditry compounded by the sensitivity of its religious, political, and ethnic undertone, what is your negotiating style, approach, philosophy in dealing with this hybrid nature of insecurity?
The lady, you may commence answering the question.
Thank you very much. Nigeria is a country with diverse ethnic groups, religion, political views, and sentiments. It is fortunately or unfortunately to note that most Nigerians listen more to their traditional rulers, their religious leaders, and what have you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
WPP intends to go through that channel.
Thank you.
People who listen to their leaders would eventually listen to them when they say don't do this and don't do that.
Yes.
The insecurity in Nigeria is on the rise, and we cannot argue that.
Oh, yes.
What WPP intends to do is to, by one, diversify the security system of this country.
Yes.
We are going to start from the community policing, to the regional policing, to the state policing, then the federal capital in itself. We intend to give back power to communities, community policing. A lot of Nigerian youths are already on the rise doing that. But we intend as a party to recognize their work. They are going to be integrated in the security system of this country.
Yes,
what do I mean? We're going to give them what we call motivation. Give them what we call, they are not based on salary. They are not security personnel, but they are out there fending and securing these people. So we're going to start from there. Community policing, to the regional policing, to state policing. A lot of Nigerian youth, as I repeat, a lot of Nigerian youth listen to their religious leaders. They listen to their traditional leaders. We are going to go through that channels. We'll pick out their traditional rulers, pick out their religious rulers, and gather them in one place and talk to them. We are also going to advocate peace and conflict resolution seminars in all the 36 states of this country. It is saddening to note that a lot of people take law into their hands. As a party, we intend to intensify the rule of law.
Thank you.
No one is going to be above the law.
That's right.
As much as we are trying to meet up to people and talk to them in a calm way, we are still not going to advocate for anyone to take law into their hands. No one will be above the law. As a party, that is what we intend to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The gentleman can please attempt answering the question.
Thank you very much. Now, let me start by saying that the situation of insecurity in Nigeria has continued to create resounding and high octave of fear, of palpable fear all over the nation. It has actually been shrouded with spate of killings. But let me let you know that a former military president in Nigeria said that if insurgency lasts more than 24 hours in a nation, then the government has a hand in it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, what are we going to do? I think my fellow presidential candidate doesn't understand the facts on ground. That even in this nation, insurgents have been kidnapping traditional rulers. I don't think she understands the facts on ground. Number two, you need to also realize that insecurity is a global phenomenon, especially terrorism. But the best way to approach it is going out on what we call bellum omnium contra omnis.
Yes.
Bellum omnium contra omnis.
Yes.
War of all against all.
Yes.
Nigeria is treating insurgents, bandits, and terrorists with glove hands. Number one, our approach, because security is in two forms. You have defensive security and natural security.
Yes.
In addressing this space, we understand that some of these insurgents and bandits and terrorists are those who are holding conservative religious laws.
Yes.
Number one. Number two are those who are suffering natural, who are not well protected with natural security, like I mentioned.
Yes.
What does natural security mean? When you have enough food in your stomach, you won't be able to pick up a crime. We will protect and make Nigerians in some certain regions that are vulnerable to crime. We will get them busy. Number one. Number two, in defensive security, we are going to close every loose ends and weak ranks among our security architecture.
Yes, sir.
It is very clear and obvious to the eye, crystal clear to the eye, There are, within our security architecture, there are some insubordinate and officials among our security ranks.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, most governors collect security votes and get it to solve security problems. Yet all these things are not properly put to use.
Yes.
So what are we going to do? In protecting and solving this problem, we are going to implement thoroughly security and dealing with these security officials who are corrupt in the system. Number two, we are going to approach with state and community police. I watched a documentary of women in Anambra State protecting their community at midnight by themselves.
Yes.
A documentary in Nigeria. We are going to start by having, and also another thing that is worthy of note, is that when you have a commissioner in a state that is from Anambra State.
Thank you very much. Next question. In what ways will you help Nigerians understand the challenges we face as a consuming nation and do the hard work of overcoming this burden together? I repeat myself. In what ways will you help Nigerians understand the challenges we face as a consuming nation and do the hard work of overcoming this burden together?
The gentleman.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, as a consuming nation, we have a task ahead. Nigeria is a nation that has continued to ignore certain strategic sectors. For example, Ajaokuta Steel Company has been left dormant for a number of years until recent remembrance and contracting of Russian companies, Russian to come and renovate it. Meanwhile, in causing a nation to become productive, what do? You stir up the action of the individuals in the nation. Get them to work.
Yes.
It's simple as that. In order to pick a nation from being consumptive, you get them to work to be productive.
Yes.
Now, how are we going to do it? We have some made in Nigerian products that are not being patronized.
Yes.
Now, we are going to implement policies. It's going to be, now we must confess and state emphatically that it could be a burdensome process, but we will be deliberate and intentional about it.
Yes.
It will require that we have a conference in that regard, because it has become very obvious that some things are just said, but stringent actions do not follow.
Yes.
We are going to make it a course of action to ensure that in patronizing Nigerian products, we will call for national conference and implement it as policies to ensure that you compulsorily, starting from our leaders, in what they use. In America, for example, the American president uses the American car, specifically designed for him.
Yes, sir.
This we are going to do in Nigeria, starting. I, as a president, when I assume office, my first ride to the inauguration venue as an example will be with a Nigerian product.
Yes.
For example, you have Innocent carrying out, phenomenal technological innovations, yet not being properly encouraged.
Yes.
We have in Aba City several guys doing a lot, yet they are not being patronized.
Yes.
Our textile industry has been abandoned.
Yes.
When we get people to Bangladesh is getting $32 million from textile industry. Yet we abandon us. It will be a burdensome process, but must be intentional.
Yes,
Nations are not built in a day.
Yes.
But we will take the pain and ensure that we take stringent actions in the process. Thank you very much.
The lady, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. Our core slogan for the BPP is new ideologies generating extreme revenue irrespective of
Adversities.
As Nigerians, we need to reorient ourselves. Of a truth, most Nigerians aren't ready to work. And if we must change Nigeria from a consuming country to a producing country, we must be ready to work.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We must be ready to work. We also, after working, we must be ready to consume what we work for.
Yes.
Nigeria has long been a consuming nation rather than a producing nation. Yes. And that is why the human capital development comes into play.
Oh, yes.
This time around, we'll be coming in the sector of agriculture. Agriculture is one of the sectors that have been, will I say, relegated to the background. We have used crude oil as a system or means of foreign exchange and what have you. Yes. But I would like to bring our attention back to the sector of agriculture. Yes, Nigerians have so many cash produce that we can farm and produce and export to other countries. That is why WPP is intending to have what I call again the mega farm city. Yes. In the mega farm city, we intend to utilize every sector, rising from the digital marketers, those in the ICT, those who are in graphic design and what have you. We'll combat them in the same sector. It doesn't have to be if you are a farmer or if you are someone who buys produce. We are going to utilize the talents of this country and bring them to mega farm city. Oh, yes. It will be a community where farming is inculcated. What do I mean? We're going to acquire a space in every state in the 36 states of this country.
Thank you.
Where the government will give a chance to youths who would use their talent to develop those farms.
Thank you.
Youths may not have the money to do those things, but would make sure we provide the facilities for them to be able to farm those lands. Yes. We're also going to be taking charge or using the irrigation farming. In that, whether in raining season or in dry season, we are not stopping to produce goods that can be consumed in the country and out of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kindly put your hands together for them. One more time. We will have a 2-minute recess before you take the final question and also challenge your opponent's position. The 2 minutes begin now.
Are you sure?
Yes,
You're already doing it. Make me more.
Drink, correct. It was a wrong answer. Okay, that if you say they're not ready, how do you use them to be ready to
So choose the plan.
You tell them that
and you were saying that they will use cyber criminals. So how can you use a criminal?
I don't know.
Thank you very much. We can have our seats and the debate continues. One more time, please put your hands together for the two presidential aspirants. We'll take the last question, then move to the segment of reviews and counter reviews. Listen.
Last question. What policies will you imbibe to curb the brain drain crisis that will further reassure our professionals their stake in the national cake? I repeat myself. What policies will you imbibe to curb the brain drain crisis that will further reassure our professionals their stakes in the national cake?
The gentleman, you may wish to begin answering the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think this is a way of reestablishing to Nigerians again about the misconception about my fellow presidential candidates by not defining correctly what brain drain means.
Yes, sir.
Brain drain, as already established by the moderator in his question, which is reiterated again, is the process of migration.
This segment is a question and answering segment. It is not a point countering segment.
All right. Now, our policies will go around operation of granting grants and non-interest loans to skilled workers around the country. Now, that will include the place of giving grants to professionals, especially medical professionals, young graduates, in order to find a life for themselves. Number two, we will create a system that accommodates proper remuneration and social packages by collaboration with their organization and association. For example, for young legal practitioners, we will collaborate with the National Bar Association for proper access to young lawyers who do not have a way to live.
Yes, sir.
For the health professionals, we partner with the National Medical Association.
Yes, sir.
For those who are willing to establish private hospitals on their own, they will find a way to do that. And for also, we will create a scheme to ensure that those who do not have good way to start up their life, we can also encourage entrepreneurial services for professionals also as an idea. Yeah. We will give the idea of partnership with institutions to buy the idea of food production by also encouraging professionals to invest in agriculture, one way or the other, which is a way of promoting our agricultural plan and ensuring that we have a deep agricultural policy and revolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. The lady may wish to answer the question.
All right, thank you very much. I would like to apologize for the gross definition of brain drain crisis. But the policies I would like to imbibe, me and my party, is we would be giving scholarship and loans for people who are interested in doing such.
Yes.
For instance, people who are in the medical association, people who are, for instance, one of our custodians stated that she didn't have the money to go to school, to pay her school fees, and she had to be withdrawn from school for a while. This kind of situations, we intend to have grants and loans and scholarship that will cover such issues.
Oh, yes.
We also intend to create a system to increase remuneration packages. We also intend to create a system to train medical students.
Yes.
Our system do not allow for medical students to be equipped thoroughly. What we intend to do is to equip our medical personnel thoroughly for them to be able to work comfortably in a system such as Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can we please put our hands together again for them? Would like to appreciate both of you for ventilating and creating multidimensional perspectives to these questions. And the outcome of this is to allow people decide and choose where to incline their voting decision based on your position in answering the question. At this point, we will request that each candidate counter the point of their opponents, and this is aimed at creating a sense of balance and opinion stability. And so we will begin by allowing the lady to counter the opponents. Thank you very much. You have 2 minutes for that.
All right. Presidential aspirants for GDP. You talked of war of all against all to tackle insurgency and terrorism. What makes you think war is one of the strategies used against terrorism to attack in the nation?
Now, thank you very much. I think what you got wrong is the literal perception. You have a wrong literal perception. When I say war against war, I remember a former military president in Nigeria here once, when he came on board, he went out with war against indiscipline. Now, when you say war against all, we are saying war, all Nigerians are warring against all criminal tendencies.
Yes,
all forms of terrorism.
Yes, sir.
We have the political will. We are not redundant persons who will sit in the office and not take actions. When we see crime, we have situations where we see Nigerians being killed mercilessly across the nation. And yet, we stay aloof, not taking deep actions.
Yes.
That is what we are saying, war. If it will require that I will go out on the field and stay with my army, it's a way of boosting their morale.
Yes.
I can choose to spend time with the army in their place of fighting. If it will require they will stay in Sambisa Forest, I will stay there so I can feel the pulse.
Yes.
Because we have many of them on the field. Our armies are fighting.
We would like to ask the gentleman to counter the point of his opponents.
Now,
2 minutes.
Thank you very much, sir. First, I wouldn't want the grass to grow under your feet as my beloved friend. But I want us to put in proper perspective Nigerians that brain drain means migration of professionals, like we see. Thank you. Number 2, I think it's an insult on Nigerians to say that most Nigerians are not ready to work.
Yay!
Most Nigerians are sweating under their breath.
Yes, sir.
To survive.
Yes, sir.
Most of them power generators.
Yes, sir.
Continuously. For example, here we know we can believe our organizers are spending so much to keep us running.
Yes.
Number 3, you must realize that despite the difficult situation, Nigeria is still struggling to eat.
Yes.
And it will be for a company, a party that says it's redefining narratives. Another thing you said, you emphasize on agriculture. Agricultural sector is not the only the sector in the economy.
I didn't say it was the only sector.
Yeah, you kept on talking about farm mega
Because this
cities.
is one of the major sector we'll be using as a party.
Thank
Don't
you.
go beyond the space
point,
of
if
human capital development.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are taking advantages of this.
Thank you. I want you to now substantiate your point on those other sectors. If you truly have plans in that regard, please let Nigerians know.
Yes.